Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a grammar lesson for you. In this lesson, we'll learn how to make sentences in English. Sometimes students make mistakes because they might not know all the rules and they struggle to put words correctly in English sentences. It's important to learn these rules because knowing how to make sentences helps you speak and write clearly and correctly. Now let's start. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that tells a complete thought, a complete idea. It starts with a capital letter and ends with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. Almost every English sentence has a subject. The subject in a sentence is a person, thing, or idea that is doing something or being talked about. Take a look at this sentence. She bought a new dress yesterday. In this sentence, she is the subject. The boy kicks the ball. The boy is the subject. Then we have a verb. A verb usually comes after a subject. It describes what the subject is doing. For example, the baby is sleeping. The baby is the subject. Sleeping is the verb. Now we can make a simple sentence. We combine a subject and a verb. For example, the dog barks. The sun is shining. In English, there are not only short sentences, but also long and more complex ones. In most cases, a sentence has an object. Not all sentences need an object, but if there is one, it usually comes after the verb. The object in a sentence is the person or thing that receives the action. For example, the boy kicks the ball. The ball is the object. We also have adjectives, which are words that describe things in a sentence. For example, the tall boy kicks the brown ball. Tall and brown are adjectives. Adjectives usually come before what they are describing. The beautiful girl is sitting on the white bench. The girl is the subject, beautiful is the adjective, and it goes before the subject. Bench is the object, white is the adjective, it describes the object, and it comes before it. We also use adverbs to describe verbs. Adverbs describe how, when, where, or how often something happens. They can be placed before or after the verb. For example, he runs quickly. How does he run? Quickly. Quickly is an adverb. The teacher speaks clearly. How does the teacher speak? Clearly. Clearly is an adverb. Some adverbs, for example, always, also, probably, go with a verb in the middle of a sentence between a subject and a verb. For example, John often goes to the gym. I always exercise in the morning. I read all these books and I also watched all the video lessons. Not I watch also all the video lessons. This is not correct. If the verb has two or more words, for example, can remember, will be cancelled, should finish, the adverb usually goes after the first verb. Can't, doesn't, will, etc. For example, he should quickly finish his work to meet the deadline. The adverb quickly goes after the modal verb should. We are always looking for ways to improve. The adverb always follows the verb are. The event will probably be cancelled. The adverb probably comes after the verb will. Now let's discuss the important rules we need to know to construct sentences in English. In English sentences, a verb and place usually go together. We do not put other words between them. For example, go home, live in a town, go to school, drive to work, swim in the sea, eat at a restaurant, work at the office, relax on the beach, dance in the club, stay in a hotel. If the verb has an object, the order is verb, object, place. We took the children to the restaurant, not took to the restaurant the children. This is not correct. Did you learn English at school? Don't forget to take your book to the library. Can you bring your friends to the party on Saturday? When we talk about time, time always goes after a place. I drive to work every morning. Not I drive every morning to work. Where do I drive? To work. It's a place. When do I drive to work? Every morning. It's time. I'm going to Cairo on Tuesday. They've lived in the same apartment for 10 years. We need to be at the station by 10 a.m. Bob gave me a lift home after work. Sometimes we put time at the beginning of the sentence. On Tuesday, I'm going to Cairo. After work, Bob gave me a lift home. Once again, guys, we do not put other words between the verb and the object. I like my job very much. Not I like very much my job. This is not correct. My friend spoke Spanish perfectly. Not spoke perfectly Spanish. Now let's talk about making questions in English. When we form questions in English, we change the order of words and add a question word if necessary. To ask questions correctly in English, it's important to understand all the English tenses. I have a video that covers tenses. I'll leave a link here so you can watch it after this lesson. Look at these sentences. The cat is sleeping. Is the cat sleeping? You're a student. Are you a student? I watched TV yesterday. Did you watch TV yesterday? Is, are, did are auxiliary verbs. An auxiliary verb is a helping verb used with a main verb to show tense, which tells us when something happens. It's important to remember that in the past simple tense, we use the structure did, subject, base form of the verb. For example, the past form of go is went. I went to college yesterday. Did you go to college yesterday? Not did you went. Did you watch the movie last night? Not did you watched. When we ask a WH question, we usually put a question word plus an auxiliary verb plus subject plus base form of a verb. WH questions are questions we ask using words that start with WH like who, what, where, when, why, and how. We use these questions to find out more information about things, more details about something. For example, who is for asking about a person? What is for asking about a thing or an idea? Where is for a place? When is for the time? Why is for a reason? And how is for asking about the way something is done or happens. Let's take a look at these examples. What? What do you think? Where? Where do you live? When? When is your birthday? Why? Why do you like summer? How? How do you make a sandwich? But there are some exceptions. When question words like who, what, which, or how are the subjects of a sentence, we do not use the auxiliary verbs like do, does, or did. Look at these examples. Who wants something to drink? In this sentence, who is the subject, not who does want. That's incorrect. Who lives in that house? Not who does live. How many students attend your school? How many students do attend is not correct. What happened to you last night? Not what did happen. Who knows the answer to this question? Not who does know. Now let's review how we make sentences in English. When you make a sentence in English, always remember these rules. The word order is the following: subject, a verb, object, place, and time. When you ask a question, always put an auxiliary verb before the subject. When the subject is a WH question word, you don't need to use an auxiliary verb. Today, I've told you about the important rules you need to follow to form English sentences correctly. This is the end of today's lesson. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below this video. If you like my content, you can send me a super thanks. Thank you for your support. See you next time.